Hey guys, Uncle Jay here. With another story for you. Now, your Uncle Jay has been known to do a lot of stupid shit. Case in point, moist recently. Women love that word, moist. Most recently, we had a big snowstorm come through, and we're renting this house, and up here in Tahoe, and a lot of snow. Property manager calls, and he says, "Hey Jay, how are you?" I said, "I'm not bad. How are you?" He said, "Well, I'm a little concerned about the snowfall that we just got." I said, "Yeah." And he said, "I got a couple questions for you." I said, "Okay, shoot." And he says, "Are the doors easy to open and close? Are they jamming up on you in the frame? Are they grabbing or anything?" And I said, "No. That would occur with a lot of weight being on the house. Doors will be hard to open and close. Same with windows." And I said, "No, they're actually, everything's fine." He said, "Okay, have you noticed any cracks in the ceiling at all?" I said, "No, no more than the usual cracks are there. They don't seem to be getting any bigger." He said, "All right, well, that's great. That's good to hear. Listen, I was wondering if maybe if you could get up on the roof and get the snow off the roof, because we're about to get another storm that's going to be coming in, and I'm just kind of worried about what's up there right now currently." And I said, "Well, all right, yeah, I guess I can." He said, "All right, Jay, appreciate that." Click. The wife's at work. So I put on my Frankenstein snow boots, and I grab my shovel, and I get dressed up, and I get up on top of the roof, and the snow is almost up to my waist, and I start shoveling the shit off. And walking around up there with the snow boots wasn't a problem because they grip really well in the snow. The problem that I had was once the snow was off the shingles and is a bit slick and icy, my boots weren't grabbing very well. So the good news is I got the snow off the roof. The bad news is that because the pitch is a little bit steep, my boots weren't gripping very well. And sure as shit, I lost my balance. My boots slipped on one of the shingles. I take a bump and start sliding down the roof. And I just happened to be going by the exhaust stack from the bathroom, the fan. When turn the fan on, the exhaust stack from the fan in the bathroom. I start sliding past that. I grab it with my hand, and it, believe it or not, that thing held my enormous weight as I'm dangling off the fucking roof. Right then, like clockwork, like you couldn't have timed it any better. The wife pulls in the truck. She gets out, and she says, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I slither myself back up there, and I get down the ladder, and I said, "Well, Jerry called and told me I needed to get the snow off the roof." Now, mind you, my wife went to, she's a paralegal. She went to law school. So she knows a lot about stuff. She's really smart. I don't know how I ended up getting her, but anyway, that's a whole different story. And she said, "Hey, attention idiot. That's not in our lease agreement. That's the homeowner's responsibility to get the snow off, not you. Not us. You could have fucking fallen off that roof and broke your back or some shit, and then we'd end up owning the house." The light bulb went off in my head. I started to climb back up the ladder. She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "You got your cell phone ready?" She said, "Yeah." I'm like, "Get 911 ready. I'm going to do a header off this fucking roof, and we're going to be homeowners." And she called me an idiot and told me to get down. So on to the story, the catfishing story that I want to tell you guys. 1989, I just turned 18, and I was an avid fisherman at that time, along with a few other friends. And on my birthday, I got some pretty good fishing lures and stuff, and I had some rubber worms, like some big ones, and I'm just kind of checking out all my lures and things that I got. And the cat that I had at the time, he loved it. I'm dangling it. He's jumping at the worm. I toss it, and he'd wrestle around with that rubber worm for like forever. That was like the best cat toy ever. And I got to thinking, another great idea. I called my buddy, my fishing buddy, the Scotsican, old Steve Durazo. He's half Mexican, half Scottish. He's big into fishing, still is. And I called him up and I said, hey, dude, I got a lot of good lures, rubber worms and shit for my birthday. He said, sweet, let's try them out tonight. So we were regulars at breaking into a gated community called, what was it called? Lakeside Village in Camarillo, California. We would park at night. We'd park in the Denny's parking lot at night, hop the wall with our fishing shit, and we'd go fishing out there in the dark at night. And we'd throw everything back. We never kept anything. There's nothing worth keeping anyway. Well, on the way home, I told Steve, I said, you know what? Pull into this fucking neighborhood over here. Let's try something. So we did. We pulled off and out in front of someone's house in this suburban neighborhood. And I dropped the tailgate on his truck, and I got my waders on, my fishing vest, I got everything, and I told him, I said, just idle the truck in first gear, lights off and shit. And he said, okay. And I took my fishing pole, and I had one of those big rubber worms on there with some weights, and I clipped the hook off, so there's no hook. And I just casted the line out a little bit, and I just let it drag behind the truck as we're idling down the street. It was probably like 200 or 300 feet behind the back of the truck. And once you know it, the neighborhood cats at night, hanging out underneath the cars and stuff, they'd come running out the street, and they'd start chasing after the rubber worm that's kind of zigzagging down the fucking road. The cats loved it. Every neighborhood we went, there'd be some cat that would jump out. Within a couple of minutes, a cat would come out of the bushes or underneath the car or whatever, and they would go nuts over these fucking rubber worms. And it was just so much fun. And I had the drag low. If they wanted to run off a bit with it, it kind of spin. But they'd always let it go. And we got to a 4-way stop sign intersection. And it wasn't like a busy road. It's just where these streets connected in this neighborhood and shit. And of course, fucking Steve Durazo, he's going right through the stop sign, and I'm just sitting there on the fucking tailgate, holding my fishing pole. Well, there was a cop that was hanging out there with his lights off too. He sees us, flips the rollers, pulls us over. He gets out of his car. I'm sitting there on the tailgate with the fishing pole, and I got my vest on. I got even the hat with the fucking the rooster tails and shit on my hat and everything. And I was, officer, and he's looking at me, and then he walks around to the front and he looks at Steve. Steve's got his shit on too, and he's really trying to figure it out. He said, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" I said, "We're catfishing." And he said, "Oh, you're going to explain that shit to me right now." I said, "Okay, here's what we're doing." And I held up the line. I said, I got this big rubber worm. He said, "Okay." And I said, "There's no hook on it." I cut the hook off because I love animals. I don't want any cats to get hurt or anything. He says, "What?" He said, "I don't understand." I said, "Well, we're just fucking trolling through the neighborhood here, letting the truck idle down the street, and I'd have this thing dangling, like dragging behind us a couple hundred feet, and the neighborhood cats run out here and start playing with it and shit. They think it's great." He did not know what to fucking think about that shit. And, I mean, we weren't breaking into houses or stealing catalytic converters. No, we're fucking catfishing. And he said, "I'm not entirely sure what you're doing is illegal, but get the fuck out of here." And, and we're like, "Okay, all right." So we just packed it in, and he just shook his head. He was like pissed off. I don't know why he was mad. He didn't think it was funny. And so we went home. That's the first and only time we did it, because I was thinking about it the next day, and it could have gone in a really bad direction if I got a cat on the rubber worm, and for some reason the cat got tangled up in the fishing line. That would have been really, really, really fucking bad. So that's a really stupid thing to do. Thank God no cats were hurt. We never did it again. We didn't get arrested. I kind of wish that we did. I don't know what kind of charges would have been laid on us, but it would have been funny for me to call home and tell my mom and dad, like, "Hey, I'm in jail." What were you doing? "Well, we were catfishing." I don't know if my dad would have got a laugh out of that or not. But anyways, I don't recommend doing it. It's dangerous to animals. And but yeah, catfishing. It was fun. It was fun for a couple hours till we got in trouble and told to go home. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed that story. Please don't go out there and do that shit. If you're gonna do some catfishing, do that shit online. Whatever it is, I don't know. This is like a dating thing, catfishing. I don't know. I need to look into that. What do? They fucking put up a Match.com or something, meet up with somebody and fucking put a roofie in their drink and take them to a hotel bathtub, pack them in ice and take their kidney and sell that shit on the black market and leave a note saying, hey asshole, get to a hospital. I don't know what catfishing is. Don't fucking steal people's kidneys either. That used to be a big thing fucking years ago. I remember it was like 20 years ago or something like that. People would go out on blind dates and shit and they'd wake up in a bathtub packed in ice saying get to a hospital and they're fucking stitched up and shit. Their kidneys were gone. Now it's catalytic converters. People are stealing catalytic converters everywhere. It used to be kidneys. Alright. I gotta get out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed this stupid story. There's more coming. I forgot a bunch of them. Alright, high fives and boners. Check me out on Twitch. Come hang out with me on that. Check out my Instagram. Hang out with us in the Discord. Really cool community. Good people. Good stuff. High fives and boners. This one's broke now too.